Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to the Town Meeting TV School Commissioner's Corner. My name is Polly Vanderputten and I'm the Ward 2 School Commissioner. Normally this is run by Commissioner Gary Golden, who's also here with us today, but he has some guests, Polly Erickson and Gary, and I am the guest, so actually the two Pollys are the guests, and then Gary is kind of the official person in charge. So anyway, I've introduced myself. I didn't say this. I've been serving on the school board since April of 2020, and that's been coming up a lot for me with the new school that we've been touring. So we're going to talk a little bit about summer, back to school, and then our new high school. I'm going to hand it over to the other Polly to introduce herself.
Thank you, Polly. So I'm Polly Erickson, and I am a baby school board commissioner. I joined April of 2026. I am in Ward 7. I succeeded Monica Ivanchik. I live right down the street from the new high school, which is very exciting. And I'll hand it over to Gary.
So, Gary Golden. I'm the Ward 1 school commissioner after serving a couple years as the East District commissioner. I am in my 4th year.
Great. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for your service, for
And
volunteering, and for being part of the team. So, first thing, we're talking about back to school, but we can't talk about back to school without talking about summer. And I was wondering if you'd be willing to share some summer highlights, maybe things that characterized summer in your childhood, or that characterized summer in your childhood that you've carried through today, both parents and parents of students who've been in the district or are in the district. I'm also a parent of a student in the district. So, Gary, would you mind starting us off, telling us about your summer highlights?
So, I do have a student who went through the district, 26, a graduate, 2018, who's in a graduate program overseas. So this is probably the first summer since she was in China that we haven't had some rituals. So mine has been a continuation of childhood, water camping, trying out new places. We were in Maine Memorial Day, and that was a new spot. Just got back from kayaking out in the New York canals, which was very new, and doing tours. I think probably between us we've done, what, 10, 15 tours between the three of us easily, so that's been good.
Yep, a lot of tours of the new high school.
Yes.
So we're gonna spend some time today talking about that, because that's really where there's a lot of buzz in our community right now. So this summer you've been giving a lot of tours, but also doing things that you've enjoyed doing your whole life.
Yes.
Which it sounds like have to do with water. Getting to water in the summertime is an important thing.
Yeah. Thank
Great.
you. Yes.
Thanks. Okay. How about you, Polly?
Wow, so for me as a kid, going to overnight camp was always a really big deal. And so I'm one of 3. And from the time I was 8 until the time I was 15, we went to the same arts and music overnight camp. I'm from Philadelphia, and this camp was in New Jersey, and it was just such a ritual for all of us, and we loved it and adored it. And so this year, my 7th grader went to overnight camp for the first time. He had a lot of trepidation, but he adored it. It was the best thing ever, and he's going to do another one in a week and a half.
Great.
So I just am like really excited, because I don't know, I feel like overnight camp is for me, it was a really important ritual, and it was like such a nice alternative to regular school and regular life. And like I got to go have this whole different set of friends and have these different adventures. So that's a big thing for me. Another thing for me is food in the summer. So lots of CSA activity, lots of waiting for tomatoes, waiting for watermelon, waiting for cucumbers, figuring out how to cook everything and use everything. And then I've been in Burlington now for 3.5 years, and I'm turning my lawn into a meadow. So every summer I have like more growth and more flowers and more plants. So that's like that's another summer ritual for me. And I think it's also just like a slowing down. So just taking a lot of time just to be slow and hang out in the house with the dogs and sit on the back porch and watch all the birds and all the butterflies and all the bees. And this summer's just been really good for all of that stuff. So I love it. Yeah. So slowing down, I think, is the main thing too. Yeah.
And do you mind me asking what the theme of your summer camp was? Like, was it a survival skills camp? Was it more like music?
Arts and music.
It was arts and music.
Arts and music, yeah. So I was a theater girl
Okay.
growing up, but I also played the guitar and sang. And then my brother is still to this day a serious musician. My sister kind of did a little bit of everything. But it was on a farm, like a retired farm.
Wow.
And the bunks were these old chicken coops. Yeah. So yeah, I just I feel like summer camp is a special thing for kids. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
So my summers, and something that I've continued to this day and done with my daughter, also involves a lot of water. When I was a kid, I grew up in South Burlington, and we spent a lot of time on the beach at Red Rocks Park, which used to have lifeguards and swimming teachers and a functioning beach house, and that was going from about 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So my sister and I have an older sister and a younger sister. My younger sister and I would get dropped off at the beach, have a swim lesson, and then spend the whole day there. It was a public beach, and my mom would just let us live kind of this unstructured life. And I like that luxury. I don't know that all children get to have that. I hope they do at some point, like you were saying, that slowing down. But unstructured, where I could make up dance moves in the water with my sister, or practice my strokes, or sit out on the raft when I could swim to the deep part and kind of observe what was happening there. I also got to visit family in the summer. My mom's family is from the Midwest, and I always spent time in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, with my grandmother and my uncle, and then a whole bunch of cousins, and they also went to public beaches to do a lot of swimming. So that's something that I really cherish, and also thinking about the difference between school and summer, that in the summer I could choose whatever I wanted to read.
Yes. Yeah.
And I loved reading at school, but I really loved choosing my own books, which included not just books, but going into my grandmother's basement and finding, like, I don't even know the title of the magazines, like Good Housewife magazines from the 1950s that she still had in her basement. And I would pore over these magazines and wonder who's sharing recipes and writing letters. Women wrote under their married names, like Mrs. Edgar Smith or Mrs. Robert so-and-so, and that was fascinating to me as a kid growing up at that time. So I loved reading random things and spending time with family and spending a lot of time at the beach. Yeah. So then school comes, and everyone's aware that school is starting up again, and we have to get ready in terms of supplies. Maybe there's back to school shopping. What were some traditions that you had, or that you have now, or that you know of in the community for going back to school? Would you mind starting, Polly?
I don't. So obviously there's like getting some new clothes and trying on like last year's sweaters and last year's long pants and figuring out like what still fits you and what doesn't, and that's always a little bit traumatic. But we didn't have a lot of money when I was little, but my mother always had a really good fashion sense, and this was in the days when you could still go to like off-the-rack stores and get really good deals, and so we'd go to Artie's for Smarties and like get like just like our few nice things that we were going to wear to school, and so that was important, to feel like you were going to go to school and look nice. And then the other thing was school supplies, which is something that to this day I love a good office supply. I love a notebook, I love some pens, so making sure that I had all my notebooks for the different subjects and all my pens and beautiful new pencils, and that my backpack was all ready and organized. And so that's still something that I think I've passed on a little bit to my son, which is the sense of I've got a new notebook and I've got my pens and my backpack is all clean and all organized. And so I live in the New North End, and not very far away from the Essex Alliance Church, the North Avenue Essex Alliance Church, and they do a really nice thing. It's probably going to happen in a week or two, where they do a back to school supplies like fair for all the kids in the neighborhood, which is really nice. And they get a lot of people coming, all kinds of kids, little ones, big ones. Some of the big ones, it's like their first time they're going to go by themselves without their mom and dad, because they're like allowed to bike or walk on their own. And so they go and they get a beautiful new backpack and some beautiful new pens and pencils. And I like that. That's something I've noticed since we've moved to Burlington, that there's a lot of like efforts to make sure that all the kids from wherever they are have what they need to go back to school, whether it's clothes or whether it's school supplies or a new book bag. And it's just like, and it's just everybody goes to these events, and we're all just like, yeah, we're all gonna make us all really happy to go back to school. So I love that. That's something I really loved about Burlington. So.
Yeah, because not everyone is necessarily feeling super excited to go back to school.
No.
And it's interesting to hear you say that you love kind of the smell and the feeling of back to school supplies. I think it's fair to say that many people who serve on the school board tend to have or had positive feelings about school, but it's true that not everyone does, and not everyone can access those things that they need.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that there is a space. And I wonder if there are other spaces. Do you know, Gary, if there are other places where they do donations?
My memory of Burlington was that the PTOs in each school contributed. So there was a fund to draw from. Other districts that I worked in, often it was the district itself who made those supplies available, and both students and teachers could draw from kind of the same pool, so you're actually looking at the same supplies used by both, and there was that kind of commonality that was actually kind of sweet.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
That's a good tip and a good reminder that a lot of our school supplies, and also I'm thinking about one of our music teachers. We have super successful band and orchestra programs. Put out a request through his mom's community in Shelburne for anyone who has quality enough used instruments and binders, because they have such high demand for students and not enough of those things. So that many of that in Burlington, our community has been so generous and so great about giving us what we need. But many of those things do come through PTO, PTA, the Seahorse Pride, which is the high school level group. So, so now that I've said that, anyone who has a used instrument that's not in terrible condition, it was Hunt Middle School specifically that was looking for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had a request in other places. So reach out to, I guess, administrators to connect then with PTOs.
Reach out to the school district office.
That would be great.
Or the teachers themselves.
So any traditions for you, Gary?
For growing up, it would have been the elementary years, either Boy Scout camp or church camp was usually August, and sort of a couple weeks after we had junior high, of course, in Texas. So band camp was 7th grade on. So we're out
like marching band?
We're out 90, 95 in the morning, for most of the morning. Just schlepping around and learning how to play an instrument without bouncing, because you have to walk softly, sort of thing, shuffle.
Right.
Because you're so, and the heat was just what you were used to in East Texas. So, so those have been the two major things.
That's so interesting. Was there also concurrently like preseason sports?
Oh, football.
Right? So those athletes were getting ready while the musicians were practicing. Not maybe at the same place, but.
Yeah, we each had we had a field, but we also painted yard markers in the big school parking lot. So if we were there without, cars would be in the other lot, and we'd be out on the asphalt. Yes, let's add another 10 degrees. And marching around and learning how to get our heels in that yard marker, each time. So even to now, I can measure things within inches of accuracy. It's very strange. 'Cause,
Wow,
yeah,
a lifelong skill
A lifelong
that
skill. Who
people
would've
don't
thought?
talk about coming from marching band. Like, I'm sure there are many others, your spatial awareness.
Oh yeah.
Right? Your sense of musicality. What was your instrument?
At that point, trombone. By the time I got to the Air Force doing it, it was all the low brass. So I marched in the Air Force as well.
Oh, wow.
Actually in some of the same venues, which was really strange.
Those are some very high caliber bands that you played in.
It can be, yeah. It was
Wow.
fun. It was fun.
That's so impressive.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Similar to you, I had an August music camp, although it wasn't directly connected to school, and that was the Vermont Youth Orchestra camp, which is where my daughter is right now.
Oh, wow, nice.
So that to me was kind of a signal of time to go back, because usually mid to late August we had reconvening of some of my favorite people. And what I loved about it too was that in Vermont, it's the Vermont Youth Orchestra, so students are coming from high schools all over the state. And it kind of expands your circle a little bit, which is nice. So we'd have that. And then start of school, usually we did get one new school outfit. When I was really little, my mom could sew. That was one of the ways that she saved money, was making us our clothes. And I don't know how this came about, but I was really, really obsessed with the Revolutionary War and the history of the Revolutionary War. And I remember in first grade having a white blouse with ruffles and some kind of a vest and some kind of like culottes, because that's what people were doing at that time. And I thought that I looked just like a Revolutionary War hero. I was like 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's an outfit that I remember that was like the one special thing that I had going into school. Usually whatever I got was not great for the climate. We're going back. I don't mean like how it affected the climate, but like it's summertime. And I always wanted things that were more appropriate for like October. So I'd spend the first couple of days sweating in my new special thing, and then I would get with the program and get reacclimated. So traditions also with my daughter, ever since she was in first grade, we always take a picture of her the day of the first day of school standing on the front steps.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any traditions like that with your kids?
Yeah. All of us on the front step.
All of it. Okay,
Every year.
nice.
Every year.
Nice.
And I give the girl credit. She participated, genuine smile, and they'll show up on the the photos memory function. Occasionally I go, oh yeah, it was a fun day.
So no, we don't do that, but I do kind of have a soft spot for the school photos.
Oh yeah.
So
which
I
happened
always
in the
like,
fall.
like literally like the second or third week I'm back to school, and
Yes.
so I like a good school photo. So yeah, I usually we'll order a couple of those and send them around to the family.
That's a great idea. Do
Yeah.
you send them out to family and friends?
Yeah, and then like I have them from my childhood, and it's just a really nice way to see them grow up. I know it's a little old-fashioned, but
And I like the
and it's a printed
hard
photo,
copy.
and it goes in a frame. Yeah,
Exactly. Yes.
For the
We-
grandmas.
for the grandmas.
All
yeah.
the yes, we send them out widely too, and we reframe the most recent picture every year. Sometimes it takes me till like November, December to actually get around to
update
doing
it,
it,
yeah.
but I still have it.
Yes.
And I love having the most recent photo in
Yeah.
a frame.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's nice. Do you know of any traditions in the community that other people do?
I think sports is a huge transition for a lot of parents.
Big symbol.
Yeah, whether school or club. Yeah, conversation today with a neighbor asking if her two high schoolers had started back, and they're both doing golf, so not a lot of summer camp for golf. So
Right, that's true.
So they're
So,
ready to get going.
yeah, they just kind of step up and can or can't.
And I've heard of people who bake cookies on the first day of school, like a batch of chocolate chip cookies for their kids, first day and last day. I never have the capacity in my schedule, I'm also a teacher, to be baking cookies like that. At some other point, I think I wouldn't. I'm already not sleeping then. So I like that idea though. Maybe Maybe someday when I'm not teaching, I'll bake cookies for someone to go back to school.
School with, yes. Yeah.
So we have students coming back into our schools really in just a couple weeks. The first day of school, as I understand it, is August 26th.
Yes,
right?
It's from Wednesday.
Yes,
Which
it
is
is.
exactly, which is a Wednesday. We have students coming back to all of our elementary schools, to our 2 middle schools, and this year we get to celebrate that we have students coming to our brand new high school. So you have been giving tours to people.
Yeah.
Describe, if you wouldn't mind, the reaction you've been getting, how the school looks, what it's like, what's the excitement. Is there excitement? Okay, I can just say yes. So why don't you go ahead, Polly?
Yeah, so like I said, I live just down the street from the high school, and it was the summer that we moved here that they knocked it down, and I was like, oh wow, there's no more high school, and so I've been just like watching this whole building up process, and then. Yeah, so what I like, wow, there's so many things I love about giving the tours, but one nice thing has been like over time, like every time I give a tour now, it's like, oh, something is better. Like, oh, the plastic bags are off the auditorium
right.
chairs, or
Yes.
oh, now we can go see the geothermal part, or oh, look, the band room, they've actually unpacked the instruments,
Right.
and now the cello is there. And so, so it's just been like I feel like it. Yeah, on August 26th, there's going to be all these high schoolers rocking up to school, and they're going to go in that beautiful new entrance, and just like their eyes are going to bug out. The school is so there's lots. If you haven't made it to a tour, there's all kinds of online guides and visuals, and some of the high school students made a gorgeous video with Town Meeting TV and Claire Wool, the chair of the board, which is really fun to see the students walk you around the school. The excitement is palpable. You've got babies, you've got grandmas, and everything in between coming to see the high school, and just being so just enthused and positive, and like, this is such a great thing for our community, and I wish I could go back to high school so I
Yeah.
could do this all over again.
a lot, too.
Yeah. So it's just and it's been such a wonderful way to connect with all different kinds of members of the community who either went to the old high school or have kids who just graduated or kids that are going into 9th grade, and it's just like such a slice of Burlington coming to the high school and engaging with us about the new opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A slice of Burlington and beyond.
Yes.
Right. There
Yes.
have been quite a few people coming to the tours from neighboring districts and
Yes.
even from other states. There's a real curiosity about this new structure. It is, my understanding is it's the first new high school, meaning like from the ground up, built in the state since 1995. So
yeah.
there are people who are really eager to see what does that look like. Among all its other attributes. Do you want to add your comments, Gary?
Oh, it's been fun watching the alum respond and talk about some memories and what the old building and school meant for them. I tend to try to recruit the children, and we do games about, every animal you see you have to tell me, but seahorses gets a little old after a point. But when they figure out that the big sound deadening mural in the middle of the atrium is a seahorse,
Right.
That's kind of a cool phase. But I think a lot of it is just people grateful to us for kind of persevering through this period, but also pretty proud of what the building has become, that we should be proud that we've adopted all these great best practices for buildings. I tease that our atrium / cafeteria / stairwell is straight out of U32. But it just means it was a best practice. They made
Right.
it, they love it, and someone in our process saw that and went, yeah, that should work for us. And I think it will. It would be, it's a great addition. Cafeteria, if it wasn't a study hall, was sort of wasted space, except for those hour and a half, 2 hours a day. So
Right.
this seems much more good use of space.
Yeah. And so thoughtful. So I really enjoy, and I reflect a lot on this during the tours and also just from my experience, my time on the board, that at this time, 6 years ago, when they had started renovations, they found these toxic chemicals, and that is when the school was shut down. So I just feel so proud and so grateful to our community that in 6 years' time, we have gone from shut down to deciding where students could be in person, working with community partners for that. And I have to give a shout out to our chairperson, Claire Wool, and our superintendent, Tom Flanagan, and his team, because they really made that happen for students. Then to say, where are we going to build a new school and how are we going to build a new school? What are our priorities in terms of the materials, in terms of the design, in terms of how many students and all of that, to actually getting it going, to locking in rates for labor and materials. I think that was key to being able to afford it, to having close to 75% of the community who voted the day the bond was up for a vote to pass it, which felt so overwhelming in terms of their support. So I feel just this immense pride and agree that whether it's a BHS graduate from 1953 or hopefully future graduate of 2053, everyone is looking at this school in a positive light. So with that, we're going to end our show today talking about our block party and our next Town Meeting TV.
All right, block party is, I can't believe it's a week from Saturday.
Yes, it is.
August 22nd.
Yes.
First tour is at 8 a.m. I'm one of the guides. Probably a couple of you as well.
Yeah, I'll be there all day, I hope.
Yeah, I think so. And then 11 o'clock, the formal festivities start. Again, Town Meeting TV will be there to film. And we'll have limited amount of speakers, like a half an hour, and then there will be some food. There'll be activities for school-aged children, and then there'll be some of the sports teams will be on the field and the gym. So it's going to be, I think, a pretty special day.
Yeah, a real celebration, a great turnout.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so we're excited. And tours are happening still throughout the week, but they're full. And I've been hearing we'll still have tours going through Labor Day weekend, possibly even opening it up to especially alumni who want to come during the vacation weeks later this year. I think there's a lot of excitement and support, but put it on your calendars, Celebration Day, August 22nd, 11 to 2, with tours happening of the building all day. So,
That's
yeah.
it.
And the next show is going to be highlighting that
Yes,
for people who
Claire
don't get
and
to
I'm
make
not sure
it.
who else will be here to kind of show pictures and talk about what a great day. And I think CCTV will be doing some interviews of people and students to kind of talk about, about the building and the impact it's going to have on the community and these students.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's a first day of school, new school for everyone at BHS. So it used to be like the season 10th, 11th, 12th graders got to go back and go a day later while the 9th graders and transfer students went in. But this year, everyone is going to be new going into the building. I would be remiss if I didn't say this, and it feels sad, but I just want to acknowledge we do have some families in our community who will not be bringing students back this year, and I just want to say that we're thinking of them and send our love to all of them and wrap around all of them, even as we go into this and celebrate that their children are still in our hearts and our memories. I think that is important to share.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So any other final thoughts as we wrap things up today?
No, thank you so much for
Yeah.
hosting us, and thank you for your great questions.
Yeah, my pleasure. I see we're all dressed in our school colors.
Of course.
Navy blue and white. We talked about back to school outfits. Will you be wearing your navy blue and white for our August 22nd celebration?
Yes, thank you, yes.
Yeah, I've got to figure out some BHS swag to wear.
That's right.
You had a great T-shirt on the other day. I'm going, I need to find one of those.
The BHS music t-shirt? Yeah, I want to know who designed that t-shirt.
We should bring it back. It
because
definitely needs to be brought back
I think
on a regular
I think
interval.
everyone needs one.
Yeah.
We do have the seahorse Pride store
Yes.
where people can find
Yeah.
things too.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be up and running that day.
And I met a VHS alum over the weekend, class of 1971, who has a seahorse tattooed on his shoulder.
No.
So shout out
Oh, wow.
to class of 71 Seahorse Pride, because that was a pretty amazing thing to see and so much joy in touring the building.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is really special.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So if we don't have anything else to share, I think that we can wrap things up.
Great. Thank you both for coming out today.
pleasure.
Thank you, Gary. It was wonderful to see you.
Thanks.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing you again really soon.
Yes.
Thanks.